So hi class, welcome to the second part of our recorded video discussion today. So now we're going to discuss the ethical corporate culture. So in every corporation or in every business, there is an ethical way or there is an ethical culture that we must adopt. Okay, so first, what is corporate culture? So every organization has a culture that consists of shared pattern of belief, expectation, and meaning that influence and guide the thinking and behavior of the member of that organization. So as you can see, class, on every organization, there is a belief, expectations, and culture. Okay, and we must adapt to that culture that we set in a organization. So organizational and corporate culture is the system of a shared action, values, belief that develops within an organization and guides the behavior of its members. So the corporate culture will share the actions, values, and belief that we have, and it develops in a in an organization. Okay, so this corporate culture will guide the behavior of every members or every employee. So kung ano po yung kultura na iniligay or sinabi ng isang organization, dapat po nating sundin kung ano man yon. Okay? So the two main reason why culture develop in our organization. So what's the reason why we need to have a culture in an organization? First, for external adaptation. It requires an organizational culture to determine how the company will reach its goal, accomplish its tasks, and identify the method of achieve its goal and place to measure the scope of success or failure. So through external adaptation and having a culture in an organization, it will motivate us and inspire us to make an action and to know what kind of action we need to have in a company so that we can now reach the goal that we set in the business or in the corporation. So that is external adaptation. While internal integration naman, start with the establishment of an identity that is unique to the business organization. So most members acquire this identity through their interaction with each other. This enables the members to work in harmony with each other and to work toward advancing company's goal. So the integral integration naman class, this culture will help the members or help the employees to have a synchronous action. Okay? So kapag maganda yung action and they treat each other as a family or as important person in an organization, it will have a smooth um, interaction with each other. So kapag maganda yung pakikitungo nila sa isa't isa, of course, they will have a good teamwork, then they can achieve the goals that they identify in an organization. So that is the two reasons why culture need to develop in an organization. So now we have three important aspects of working together. So why we need to work together with other members of an organization. First, the member decide who is member of the group and who is not. So we need to identify kung sino yung grupo natin at kung sino yung hindi pwede maging kasama ng grupo natin. Okay? Second, the member develop an informal understanding and acceptable behavior. So for every group or for every organization, we need to determine what are the understanding na meron sa isang organization natin. So we need to know kung anong behavior ang ipapakita natin sa isang organization. So kapag alam natin, kung kilala natin yung bawat miyembro ng isang organisasyon, it will have a smooth interaction with each other. And third, members separate friends from enemies. So usually class sa isang organization, the members separate the friend from the enemy, because friends, it will motivate us or it will inspire us to have or to work better. But if we work with our enemy, of course, there's a chance na hindi maging maganda yung interaction nyo with each other, since hindi, I mean, you have different values, you have different aspect of thinking, and there are different behaviors. So, baka hindi nyo maaabot yung goal ng isang organization. So, here, we have three layers of cultural analysis. So at the bottom, we have the common cultural assumption. At the middle, we have the shared values. At the top, we have the observable culture. So when we say observable culture, it refers to the way things are done in an organization, and this can be observed in daily activities or in specific instances, which include unique stories according to company's history, ceremonies, and corporate rituals. So dito class, sa isang organization, is these are the history and ceremonies of and corporate rituals of a corporation. So we need to know kung bakit ganito yung kultura ng isang organization, kasi maaari dahil ito sa history, or dahil ito yung paniniwala nila, or ito isa tong ritual. Okay? While yung shared values naman, it refers to the common values that are meant to put together and motivate the member of the organization. So from the word shared, okay, you share your values or you share your behavior to another person para if ever na mag-swak yung values nyo, okay, we will have a good result in the organization. And we have also the common cultural assumption. So it includes the taken for granted truths that the members share as a result as collective experience with the organization. So dito, we have, we share a result of collective experiences. So dito, the experience that we have from different experience in our life, it will give a big or good result to an organization. So if ever na mas maganda, I mean mas malaki or mas madami yung experiences ng isang organization galing sa iba't ibang miyembro, of course they will easily to understand they will easily understand each other, okay, and they will work harmony and synchronize. And that is common cultural assumption. So we have also the ethical leadership and management, wherein leaders of business organizations serve as a role model of the belief, values, behavior that are expected from someone who represents the company. Siyempre, as the leader of a company, you need to be the role model ng mga employees mo or ng mga members mo. So you need to have a good belief, values, and behavior. So kapag nakikita nila na maganda yung belief mo, maganda yung values mo, and maganda yung behavior mo, they will understand you and they will try to be good also to other people. So there are two recognized type of corporate culture, which is the compliance-based culture and the values-based culture. So when we say compliance-based culture, it focuses on the following the rules, law, policies, regulation as the primary responsible of ethics. So di ba every time na magkakaroon tayo or papasok tayo sa isang organization or group of people, there will always are rules, laws, and policies. So we need to sundan yung mga nakalagay na law dito sa isang organization. And it will serve as a primary responsibility of a ethics. Next, we have the values-based culture. So reinforce a particular set of values rather than a particular set of rules. So dito class, nagkakaroon tayo ng kultura dahil sa values na meron tayo at hindi dahil sa rules na inilagay sa isang organization. So, as a person, you need to be kind to other people. Okay? Hindi dahil rule to or law to ng isang organization, but because it is a value. Okay? So they also recognize that despite the rules by the company code of conduct, there are situations where rules can be applied, so the organization will have to rely to the personal integrity to its workforce when decisions are to be made. So sometimes we do an action uh, sa values na meron tayo at hindi dahil sa set na goal or set na rules and laws na binigay ng mga top management. Okay? So setting a corporate code of conduct. So how can we create a corporate code of conduct? Code of conduct. So code of conduct, or also known as code of ethics, is a list of guidelines and protocols based on the organization values. So you need to know first what is your organization values. And after that, you need to write or list down a guidelines and protocols based from the values that you identify in your organization. So dito, it articulates how employees should behave. Okay, so through a code of conduct or code of ethics, it will make the employee or they will know kung ano ba yung behavior na dapat ilagay or ipakita sa isang organization. So that is the code of conduct or code of ethics. So ito po yung guidelines and develop a code of conduct for the organization. First, you need to understand the mission vision of the organization. So it is really important to know kung ano yung mission and vision ng organization. So this will set the tone for required conduct and behavior that the member must know by heart. Next naman, you need to identify the values that organization lives for. So aside from the mission and vision of a organization, they need also to identify what are the values that the employees must possess in an organization. Next is spell out the different behavior values that employee must follow in order to maintain the ethical values of the organization. So you need to know, or you need to respect the behaviors and values of other employees. Okay, next naman is ensure the proper enforcement of the code of conduct. So you need to tell to everybody or to all your employees kung ano ba yung code of conduct mo, ano yung mga rules, regulations, and law sa isang organization. So kapag naintindihan nila ng mabuti, of course, they will try their best na sundin yung nakalagay sa code of conduct. Next naman, outsiders such as supplier, distributor, and customer must also understand the organization code of conduct in order to avoid the presenting the employees with action that go against the code. So you need also to tell to the other part of a organization that these are your code of conduct. So kapag alam din nila yung code of conduct mo, they will not hesitate they will not try to make the employees do something bad na against sa code nila. Okay, and that is the guidelines in developing a code of conduct for the organization. And now we have ethical issues. So when we say ethical issues, it is an identifiable problem or situation or opportunity that requires a person to make an action or decision based on several options, whether right or wrong or ethical and ethical issues. So every time that we are part of a organization, we need to make a personal decision or personal action. Okay, so we need to know kung yung result or yung gagawin nating action are ethical ba or unethical. When we say ethical, it is good, but when we say unethical, it is wrong or it is bad. Okay, so it is up to the person kung ano yung gagawin niya na action based sa naisip niya or doon sa mindset na meron siya. Okay? So that will be the end of our recorded video discussion. So I hope you gain something about code of conduct or the ethics that must we have in every corporation or for every organization. So if you have any questions, clarification, or suggestions, please don't hesitate to contact me through Messenger or Gmail. So goodbye everyone and thank you for listening to today's recorded video discussion.